Hi, Adam.
Hey, Annmarie.
So this week we are recapping Sky Deidelbaum.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved talking to Sky. She totally inspires me. And, I've known Sky since she was 2 or 3.
Right.
So I've, watched her for many years and who she's grown to be. But there were so many things from her episode that that inspired me. And I loved that, she opened by saying it's okay to not know what you're going to do. And I think that's really important, particularly for freshmen who are just stepping into school or those who just graduated and are just stepping into the work world, like Brandon. It's okay to not know. And I think so many of us think we have to know. We have to have the answer. We have to have direction. So for her to step into that, own that, and start talking about that right off the bat, I thought was really cool.
I did too. I think that it was a great way, and then this podcast will be a great way to close out our month of freedom talk.
Yeah.
And the freedom that she's allowing herself to not be committed to something in particular. I've had a few revelations in the last week or so, and one of them is an aha moment I had is the answer is that there is no answer.
That's a good social media post. It's true.
Oh my God. It's so true.
How did you get that revelation?
I've just been doing a lot of self-exploration, and I worked with a coach who helped me journey through it at an intense level, and it came to me while I was at my most intimate and raw self. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that I was able to sink into what my life is quote unquote supposed to be. It's just what it is, you know? And so on the other side of fear just is, on the other side of control is. And so yeah, Sky letting go of control of what her degree is telling her she needs to do is going to be amazing for her, even if it feels fearful, scary, right? Even if it feels that way, it's going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. I also thought I'm a big guy on control. I control the way I eat to control my moods, and the way I exercise to control my moods. I try and control people around me.
Buzzkill, everyone, the spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Everyone everyone is controlling everything, right? All the time. You just do it with food and exercise.
And part of my journey was to release control to my coach, and it came to light also what have I been missing out on by controlling what I know. So
what you think you know.
What I think I know. Yeah. Well, it is, it's kind of what I know. I've created it so it is what I know in my universe, right, in my space, based on the control that I've created. What am I missing out on by maintaining this tight lock of control on the way I do things, my schedule, my eating, my exercise, how I see people, when I see people, what mood I need to be in when I see people? What have I been missing out on?
Yeah.
And really, my coach was doing everything perfectly, and then it came to mind that there's actually infinite perfects.
There's infinite possibilities.
Of what is quote-unquote perfect in my mind. So Sky's now walking into that realm of
infinite possibilities.
Right. And of course, it's scary to just fall into that. But it's also... it's scary because it's nothing she can control or she knows at this moment. And when you change your relationship with what you think control is, then it stops becoming as scary.
Yeah, she says, I don't have a set plan and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's important. That's really important.
And she said and she said it feels like a lack of control.
Yeah.
which is so awesome because we are used to believing that we have some control. Like, if I study this thing and get this degree and apply for this kind of job, I'm going to have some kind of stability in my life, and I can control the outcome. I can control what kind of life I'm going to have.
Right.
I can control all that stuff.
What kind of life do you want?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, exactly.
And so we're really like putting all our power out there into something else, and then we try and control it, versus just sort of like following what organically feels good. Like Sky's like, and even Brandon, both Sky and Brandon were both like, something's kind of off here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right.
Right.
And this is what I kind of want to emphasize this point, because our heads get so in the way and we forget to pay attention to just how we feel. We don't actually have to explain it. Like, we could just notice, something's not feeling right. And the other thing she talks about is, she talks about she's just trusting in herself. And I think that's such a big deal. And learning to trust yourself and like check in, like, I don't know what it is. This isn't feeling right. And I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to just take a leap of faith and go this way and see what happens. And, you know, one of the things I appreciate about Sky and even Brandon is they both did what they knew they were supposed to do by cultural conditioning. They both went to college, got a degree, because that's what culture says you should do.
Decided what they were going to get their degree in, and then did it.
Yeah.
Completed that task.
And they both worked really hard and devoted themselves to it. And at the end of it, they're like, yeah, I'm just not into it. And now I've got this thing. She also says that she knows that she has the credentials for quote-unquote stability. But now's not the time. So she can fall back on that. Like, if this illusion...
Yeah, it wasn't a waste of time.
No,
like, people
no.
also get through that, and then their main motivator to keep going towards their degree is, well, then I wasted all that time if I don't keep doing this.
Yep.
And she doesn't look at it as a waste of time.
No, she's like, I got the credentials. I can run with that when I need to. But right now, I'm going to honor what's here now. And what's here now is I'm not ready to go do that thing, whatever that thing is I'm supposed to be doing, based on that degree.
That made me also think, Brandon's my brother, and when Brandon was deciding what school to go to, this was a really cool decision that I respected for him. He had a pretty much full academic ride to go play baseball at DePaul in Indiana. And that was like an option for him.
That's huge.
Yeah. Or like a bunch of money off. And DePaul's a really good school and all that.
DePaul.
Yes.
In Indiana, yeah.
DePaul. DEPAW.
Yeah.
And to play baseball.
Which he loves.
Which he loves to do. And he then got into Illinois. Was going to get no money and whatever, right? Like, he chose Illinois because he just kept telling us. Like, we were talking to him and giving him some insight, you know. I was like, you know, a little hands off with it, but like also just let you know, if I were you, I think I'd go play baseball because I regret not playing baseball.
For sure.
Right? And he goes, yeah, I think I'm just going to go to Illinois. And I was like, why? Tell me why. And he goes, because I want to have a typical big college life. Traditional big college life.
Yeah.
And I want to join a frat. And I want to party. And I want to have 70 friends. And I want to just do that.
Oh, so he knew that was the experience he wanted to create for himself.
Yeah, and as much as that might be a judged thing, and like people might look at like, you just want to go be a frat partier in college, like, I thought I respected the decision he made.
Well, what I want to point to is that what I respect about it is that he knew himself.
Yeah, he goes, this is what
this is what I want, I'm going to just do what I want.
And he did it. And, like, I mean, that's a tough decision to make. Instead of making the decision to go be a college athlete at a, you know, decent school and, like...
Yeah, like, I'm over here totally, like...
straight-laced and, like, whatever. Like, he just was like, I kind of want to be, like, a party frat guy.
Yeah.
That, like, honestly, in this culture is kind of looked down on at this point. Like, but he just went and did that. And then he, and what is awesome about now is that he got to the end. He was a math teacher. And he went, I don't want to be a math teacher anymore. Now, he didn't major in teaching math. He majored in math.
Right.
With
teaching credential.
Teaching credential. And I imagine if he went to DePaul, they might have had a different program to graduate you as a teacher. And he might not have been able to get the job he got now.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because he got to lean on the fact that he has a math degree.
Yeah.
And he went into this interview going, I have a math degree.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting.
Well, what I love about that story is, like in his case and Sky's case, they're just trusting their own wisdom in the moment. Yeah. Like, this is the wisdom I have in this now moment, and I can't make this decision based on the future because I don't actually know what the future holds. By the way, I thought I was going to be a teacher 4 years ago, and I got to the end of the rainbow, and I don't want to be a teacher. So we can't actually know about the future. We have to make our decisions based on what's here now to the best of our ability. Like, we can make the best decision with the information we have in this now moment, but we have to trust ourselves. And we have to trust that whatever wisdom is coming through in this now moment is the wisdom that's here for our greatest and best selves. You know, Olivia Royal, who we interviewed last October, she got a full ride scholarship to Howard, great school, and then a little bit of money to go to NYU. And she had to come up with all the money to pay her tuition on her own. Her parents weren't really able to support her. And she gave up that full ride scholarship because the program wasn't aligned with what she most wanted. So she chose this debt to follow her passion, follow her dreams. And she's graduating in next semester, and she's totally on it. She's on her way. It's so cool to watch.
Well, whether or not she's she's successful in college or not, she's already made a successful life decision. So, like, the college to me is like, cool. Like, I don't think the proof is in the pudding where it's like, see, look, I made the right decision and now I have this great job. I think the right decision was already made, and what happens after that is just what was supposed to happen.
Yes.
Like, she already killed it with her decision.
Yeah.
From there, it's just, yeah, I think a way to get in that headspace too. So like it's easy to say right now, and we're sitting here in our studio here, and I'm pretty jazzed up, and it's like fun to talk about. But in the moment, it's really hard to actually go through with and make that decision or get in touch with something like that.
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know, right? And I think something else that through my coaching session was there's nothing to do.
I know.
And that is like...
crazy, right?
It's crazy. And I can apply it to so many situations. Like...
Wait, can you just pause for a minute? Like, say that again.
There's nothing to do.
Okay, if you're listening in right now, try and wrap your brain around that. It is almost impossible for our minds to understand that there's nothing to actually do.
Like...
And it doesn't mean you don't do anything.
You don't, like, walk down... Like, yeah, like, you have errands to run, you don't do them. That's not what we're saying.
No, there's, like, there's nothing for you to do. Everything is happening...
Yes.
Perfectly.
Like...
Whether you do it or not. Whether you try and make it happen or not.
Yeah. I was like, that to me, I've been saying that to myself for the last week, and it's not something that's gotten me, like, calmer. It's literally just made sense to me.
Uh-huh.
Like, even just right now, I had something happen, quote unquote. Like, I'm trying to go to a Chance the Rapper concert with people that I'm close with, and plans keep popping up they're just popping up in the middle of, like, when I'd want to go and where I'd want to go and who I'd want to go with. And my instinct is to get on the phone, get commitments out of people, make decisions now. The concert's in 2 months, right? Sell my tickets or don't sell them, all that stuff. I just bought them today.
You have tickets to 2 days, and both days there's conflicts around who can go with you.
Yes.
And you want to have a particular experience.
I want to control.
With particular people.
And I want to control that experience.
And you had it all planned out, and then things are interfering because other circumstances are getting in the way of those people participating with you.
Thank you. Yes, that's what's happening.
And I'm wanting
to control everyone, or I want to make it still happen. I want to make it.
You're looking for ways to create that experience.
And really, there's nothing to do.
No.
Even in this situation. Like, yeah, I have some money on these tickets, and all it is like, it's going to just happen the way it's supposed to happen. There's no decision to be made. There's no, like, action to be taken. There just is a situation
and it will unfold.
And it will unfold.
It will unfold.
And, like, for people out there that are like, well, you have to, like, sell the tickets. You have to actively sell the tickets. But it's like, I know I have to, like, press buttons and do that. But, like, I don't know. Oh my God. Yesterday, I bought tickets for Mary and my girlfriend and I to go to a Cardi B concert for her birthday in Indianapolis. We're in Chicago. And a week leading up, I went, Mary, I know this is your birthday, but, like, driving to and from Indy next week seems a little daunting. And she was like, I didn't want to say anything, but, like, it seems so daunting. But it's my birthday present, and so I felt bad saying it. And I was like, well, let's figure it out. And she goes, can you sell them? So I go, okay. So I go to sell the tickets. All the way up until yesterday afternoon, they're still not sold. And she's like, we have to go if they don't sell. And I was like, I'm not going, even if they don't sell. It's money spent, and I'm not experiencing that. So I go play softball. We have our night together. They end up selling for, like, way cheaper than I bought them for. And I get a text message from the app that I bought the tickets from at 6:30. Concert starts at 7. Text said, Cardi B canceled her concert. It's moved to September 11th.
Oh my God. You're kidding me.
We would have gotten there.
And been pissed.
And it would have been canceled. And we would have drove back. And I know in that moment, I don't care if I took a $200, $300 loss on the tickets, I would pay that much money to, like, snap myself back to Chicago in an instant.
Okay, so I just want to... Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so cool.
She canceled and rescheduled her concert. And we already sold the tickets, so we don't have to even go now.
Right, but here's what I want to point out. How many of you have held back saying what you really want to try and hero someone? Like Mary wasn't going to say anything to you.
Yeah, she would have.
But you heard her. She says, like, it's my birthday, blah, blah. There was a little
resistance, yeah.
And you had a little resistance to saying it too.
Because it's her birthday.
Because it's her birthday, right? So all of that's around control. Mm-hmm. I don't want to upset her, disappoint her, whatever. So I want to not say the thing I'm thinking to try and control her experience, and mine, by the way, because I don't want to upset her and I don't want to deal with her upset. And likewise, a little bit of that was existing in her. Now, I know you guys, and I know you have a practice of revealing, not concealing from one another, so that you guys did that. But imagine having not revealed and getting there.
Oh my God. We would be in a fight right now because we would just both be in the worst
You'd be
moods.
pissed.
And we'd be, like, resenting each other for not saying... And I remember, for maybe a little tip for, like, that's a really tough thing, I guess. We've been revealing and, like, open for, like, years. So it was an easier practice. But now I can see how, like, yeah, that was really cool. And, like, the way I, like, worded it was I was just really honest.
Yes.
And I just said, like, hey, Mary, I'm exhausted. We've been everywhere this summer. And the thought of going to Indy next week, to be honest with you, I know it's your birthday and I care about you. But just the thought of going to Indy next week is exhausting me right now. And it's making me not even present in front of you. So here's what I want to ask you. Do you really want to go to that concert? Like, is that something you're gung-ho about? Because if you are, I'd like to know now so that I can make a conscious decision to go from that place next week, and I will be all in on that concert next week. And I'll have.
I'll honor you. I'll honor your.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll honor your request.
And I'll be, like, driving out there going, I love my girlfriend, and I'm, like, happy to go do this with her.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
Right? And I said, so just tell me what you want right now, because then I have a whole week to like mindfully prepare for that night.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on it. And I was like, all right, now we're like working from a really good place.
Right. So this is where we create authentic connection with one another, is by showing up authentically as ourselves, and then trusting that Mary is not going to, be inauthentic in return. I know Mary, and I know that she would have the courage to say to you, hey, Adam, I appreciate that you're tired, and this is really important to me, and I want you to be there with me. She would say that. And so this is how we build trust. We build trust by showing up authentically as we are in the minute, whatever it is, and trusting that our partner, our friend, our coworkers, our parents, our families, whatever, can handle it, and that they're going to equally show up as their true selves in the moment.
Does that have to be people to people, or can that be person to universe, soul, world, life? Like, can my relationship with my life be that same way too?
Sure.
Where it's like I'm showing up, I'm just gonna open up and say and feel what I'm feeling, and then it's gonna come back at me authentically as well.
Yeah, because we all are one, right? We're one with the universe.
Yes.
We're connected. So we're always living in a state of trust or fear. We either trust the universe, or we're afraid. And in this case, like, I would even go as far to say that you were so connected that there was a wisdom in you tied to a wisdom in, who's the concert for?
Cardi B,
whoever that is.
Yeah. You're saying, I thought you were going to say me and Mary were so connected. That
You and Mary are so connected to Cardi B that there was some wisdom in you that knew this wasn't happening.
Yeah.
There was some wisdom in you going, yeah, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we are all one consciousness. We are all connected. And if we get quiet enough and still enough, we trust ourselves and trust the universe. The universe is a really friendly place. It takes care of us. So it doesn't have to be a conversation with just Mary or someone. If you're trusting the universe and you're putting your energy out there and you're doing what you are feeling in yourself, like Brandon did, like Sky did, if you're just trusting yourself and following that impulse, that you're always going to land on your feet.
And you can even, to start off, you could even like notice your impulse and choose against it.
Of course.
That's also
and then
work.
Look at the results.
Yes, that's also work, and like still worth a pat on the back.
No, it's just like it's a learning.
Yeah.
You're always learning. The results are less important than the lessons you get along the way.
And like...
Oh, I'm going to be like Oprah right now. Like, tweetable. That felt like a tweetable moment.
Does she say that? I don't even know. You've been saying that on our podcast, and I don't know where it was coming from.
What? Saying what?
Tweetable.
Oh, really? Clearly, I watch Oprah. But wait,
She's still making new content?
I don't know if it's a new content, but I listen to her podcasts.
Oh, okay.
But what did I just say?
Oh, the lessons are more important or something.
It's it was tweetable until I forgot what it was.
The lessons are more important or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, no.
But that, like, the end result doesn't matter as much as what you learn along the way.
Yes. Like Olivia.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, I'm not interested in, like, if look at her now, she's basically the next Lady Gaga. Like, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in, like, the decision she made. Brandon. I remember, like, all through college, like, he was struggling the first couple of years with, like, schoolwork and things like that. And, like, I remember I felt zero need to jump in and, like, help him. My dad would, like, say, hey, Adam, why don't you call your brother? And I'd be like, I don't call my brother. Why would I call my brother? You know, like, it's not like we're not getting along. We don't
That's
talk.
not the relationship you had. Yeah.
Right now, you know?
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, yeah, he's just struggling with this and that. And they would, like, worry about him. Worry. And I remember I wasn't worried for a second. For an instant. I wouldn't even entertain their worry. They would dump it on me and I would just go, yeah, I mean, he's going to be fine. Yeah. And then I would just go do what I was doing. And I didn't know why until this moment. And it's because I so trusted him.
And the universe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I trusted him because of the decision he made.
Yeah.
Going into college. Like, I was like, dude, that's a that's a really tough decision that you just made. And then you know what he did in college? He joined a frat, had a bunch of friends, and partied. Like, I honored that in him every time I saw him. I was like, you literally did what you said you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Not a lot of people do what they say they were going to do, even if it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was struggling with work, I was like,
he's going to be fine.
He's going to be fine.
Right. So the big takeaway for me today
Yeah.
is this idea of trusting in yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if the lessons you get along the way, if you pay attention to the results, either results that feel favorable or unfavorable, it doesn't matter if the results are favorable or unfavorable. It matters what you learned on your journey to those results. So if you learned you bypassed some knowing you had or desire you had or want you had, and you got a result you didn't like, you're learning not to bypass yourself anymore. And if you're listening to your intuition and following that, and you're trusting yourself, and you get a good result, then you're going to start to listen more because the results are good. The results are in your favor. They're favorable.
Yeah, good or bad. The results just feel
aligned.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I agree. And also, I would like to just, there's nothing to do.
There's nothing
like
to
when
do.
a problem presents itself, the best way I've noticed in the last week, the most friendly way to me to get through the problem or figure it out is to not try and figure it out. Don't try and figure it out. Even an emotional problem that you're having with your significant other or something, people want to go, okay, so we should just break up, or we shouldn't break up, or sometimes there's just nothing to do.
Yeah, it's okay not to know the answer.
There is no answer because it's always changing.
Yes.
The answer is always... I remember one time we were talking about, this will be the last thing. I know we're running long, but, the one time I was talking to you, it was, 4 years into my relationship with Mary, and we were talking about, having kids. And I'm not going to be specific on, who mentioned they did or did not want kids, but the point is we disagreed. And I called you up, and I was like, oh my God, I think I have to break up with Mary.
Because we don't want the same thing 10 years from now.
Right, and you were like... You asked me, you go, well, do you want a kid tomorrow? And I was like, no, or whatever, or does she want a kid tomorrow? And I was like, no, you're the point is, well, then why would you break up for something that's possible? You could change your mind tomorrow. You can literally wake up and your mind could be changed. So
you
why
can
would
get
you
hit by a bus tomorrow. Don't make decisions for tomorrow based on
what you want today.
What you want today.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean...
Tweetable.
That sounds so bad.
I just wanted you to hear it.
That doesn't mean that you don't take action steps in your life.
Right.
It just means you don't have... that you don't have to control everything to get the result you want. That there's a both and.
That's what our society is. It's you get a phone call at work, someone sends you an email, and they're like, can you do this? And you're like, yep. And then you do it, and then and then next thing, and next thing, and next thing. And so basically, there's a thing around do something.
Control.
Do it for control. And really, it's funny how, in control I feel because I've let go of a lot of control.
Yes.
I feel way more in control.
Yep. Love that.
All right.
Let go of control. You'll be in control.
Thanks for listening.
Hope you got something out of that.
Good job, Sky. Good job, Brandon.
Olivia.
Month of
shout
freedom.
out.
Later.